Voilà, merci d'être fidèle au programme.
Thanks for staying with us here on African News. Today marks the commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the Biafra War in Nigeria, a conflict which happened between 1967 and 1970 between militants seeking independence for southeast Nigeria and the Federal Army of the Igbos, who are the majority in the southeastern part of Nigeria, felt marginalized and wanted to create an autonomous republic of Biafra.
L'échec de la création d'un État du Biafra. C'est donc dans ce contexte tendu et bien qu'une journée ville morte.
As part of the commemorations today, Nigerians who identify as Biafrans have been urged to observe a day of reflection as a means of avoiding possible clashes.
Forces in Nigeria have said they are deeply concerned with the security implications in regards to today's sit-at-home order. They will be on red alert in hot spots in the former republics such as Aba and Onitsha, where protests last year turned bloody. Thousands of protesters clashed with security forces, leading to the deaths of dozens of people, including 3 policemen, several sustaining injuries, and the arrest of scores of protesters. Speaking on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari, who is on indefinite medical leave, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo warned last week against the eruption of violence. Analysts have, however, indicated that the suppression of pro-Biafra protests is the wrong response and has only hardened more young people's attitudes in favor of independence.
Écoutons à présent le politologue.
Let's now speak to political analyst Dr. Chris Nwakobia, who is in Lagos, Nigeria. Chris Nwakobia, thank you for joining us, and hello. First of all, half a century after the Civil War, have the reasons for the conflict been addressed?
Je le rappelle, elle a fait 3 ans, elle s'est achevée en 1970. Eh bien, les causes qui ont été à l'origine de ce conflit ont-elles été examinées?
Fortunately, the issues that led to the war, which of course were precisely the crisis in the north, the crisis in the southwest, the political crisis of that time, and then the pogrom, the massive execution and murder of people of southeastern origin in the late 66, 67, 68, and 69, kind of persists the other way because we still have marginalization here. The Igbos are marginalized at different fronts and different levels. The southeast roads are the worst in Nigeria. The Niger bridge that was built long ago, well over 40 years ago, remains the only bridge connecting the southeast to the south-south. And a lot has been left unattended, and that is why the issue of Biafra and the war resonates.
Mais cela dit, docteur, on peut tout de même.
But then, Doc, some have argued that every part of Nigeria is calling for, or at least needs a share of the national cake. Should the Biafra case be an exception?
Cette question du Biafra, en quoi est-elle véritablement spécifique?
Everybody who believes in equality, in fairness, in justice, in equity, is actually a Biafran, because the Biafran call is a call for justice, is a call for inclusiveness, is a call for that which is right. So those who are running away from it actually do not love Nigeria. And the reason people are agitating for the state of Biafra today is because there's injustice. There are a lot of injustices across the Nigerian space. And until that is addressed, the call for some kind of dialogue will persist. The call for Nigerians to renegotiate the terms of our collective existence will persist, and the call for equity, fairness, and justice will sustain.
Mais alors, pourquoi tous les gouvernements...
So why have successive governments not been able to resolve this issue?
Question du Biafra, on sait que pendant cette guerre, on a vu des gouvernements étrangers qui ont financé certains rebelles pour pouvoir mieux se positionner bien dans l'utilisation des richesses pétrolières du Nigeria. Pourquoi n'est-on pas finalement arrivé à une solution dans cette crise?
The successive leaderships that we have had in this country, previous administrations and including the present one, hasn't addressed the issues of Biafra proactively. Rather than clamp down on agitation, rather than clamp down on protests, rather than clamp down on those who are saying that we must discuss now, the right way to go is dialogue. And I do sincerely think that in the present-day Nigeria, it is just not about Biafra alone. The Southwest is asking for restructuring. The South-South is asking for restructuring. The Southeast is asking for restructuring. The Middle Belt, which is part of the North Central, they are asking for restructuring, considering the fact that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria calls Nigeria a federation. But unfortunately, we have a pseudo-federalism. We're not true to what we say on paper. We're not true to what is in our Constitution. And that is why the agitation, the need for dialogue, the need for restructuring, the need to listen to those who are saying that they're tired of Nigeria as it presently is fundamental.